The last time anyone saw Daniel Mercer live, he was standing on a quiet stretch of beach in Florida, staring out at the ocean like he was waiting for something or someone. Daniel wasn't the kind of man who disappeared. A retired Navy veteran, he had spent 22 years serving his country. Discipline, routine, structure, those things defined him. After leaving the military, he settled into a modest life in a coastal town just north of Miami. He kept to himself, worked part-time at a marina, and checked in with his younger sister, Claire, every single Sunday without fail. Until one Sunday, he didn't. At first, Claire thought it was nothing. Maybe he forgot. Maybe his phone died. But by Monday morning, something didn't feel right. Daniel didn't miss things. Not birthdays. Not calls. Not routines. So she drove down to his house. The front door was unlocked. That was the first red flag. Inside, everything looked normal. Too normal. His wallet was on the counter. His phone sat charging by the couch. His keys hung neatly on the hook by the door. But Daniel was gone. No signs of struggle. No note. No explanation. Just gone. The police initially treated it as a missing person case. Adults leave all the time. They said, maybe you wanted space. But Claire wasn't buying it. Something happened to my brother, she told them. He wouldn't just walk away. Days turned into weeks. Search teams combed the shoreline. Divers scanned the waters. Flyers went up across town. Nothing. No body. No clues. No answers. Then came the first break. A fisherman reported something unusual about 5 miles offshore, an abandoned boat drifting aimlessly. When authorities reached it, they found a small, weather-beaten vessel with no registration number. Inside, traces of blood. Not a lot, but enough. And something else. A Navy-issued duffel bag. Inside the bag were items that belonged to Daniel. But that didn't make sense. Daniel didn't own a boat. Suddenly, the case changed. This wasn't disappearance anymore. It was something darker. Investigators dug into Daniel's past. At first, nothing stood out. Clean record. Honorable discharge. No known enemies. But as they went deeper, something surfaced. During his final years in the Navy, Daniel had been part of a logistics unit stationed overseas. And according to sealed documents that were suddenly not so sealed anymore, there had been an investigation. A quiet one. Something involving missing military equipment. Weapons. High grade. Unaccounted for. The case had been buried. No charges filed. No public record. Until now, Claire was shocked. My brother would never, she started, but the detective cut her off. We're not saying he was involved, he said carefully, but he may have known something. That changed everything. Because now, Daniel wasn't just a missing man. He was a potential liability. A week later, a new lead emerged. Security footage from a gas station about 20 miles from Daniel's home. The timestamp? The night before he vanished. The footage showed Daniel, but he wasn't alone. He was arguing with someone, a man in a dark hoodie. Their conversation was heated, aggressive, and then the man handed Daniel something. An envelope. Daniel hesitated, then took it and walked away. That was the last confirmed sighting of him. The investigation zeroed in on the mystery man. After days of analysis, they identified him. His name was Victor Hale, former contractor, worked with military supply chains. And more importantly, he had been connected to the same investigation Daniel was part of years ago. When police went to pick him up for questioning, he was gone. His apartment was empty, computer wiped, phone disconnected, like he had vanished into thin air. But he left something behind, a receipt from a storage unit. Inside that unit was where everything changed, because what investigators found inside didn't just shock the town, it shocked the nation. Stacked neatly in the dimly lit space were crates, military grade, unmarked. Inside them, weapons, dozens of them, rifles, ammunition, equipment that should never have left a secure facility. And taped to one of the crates, a photograph of Daniel, bound, bruised, but alive. Claire broke down when she saw it. He was alive, she whispered. He was alive, and they took him. Now it was a race against time. Authorities launched a full-scale manhunt for Victor Hale. Ports were monitored, airports flagged, every possible exit locked down. 3 days later, they found him in a remote cabin deep in the Everglades. He didn't resist, didn't run, just sat there waiting, and when they asked him where Daniel was, he smiled. "You're too late," he said. The search team tore through the swamp. Hours passed, then days, until finally they found something, a shallow grave. Claire was there when they confirmed it. Dental records. It was Daniel. The nation erupted. A decorated veteran, kidnapped, tortured, and murdered. For what? Silence? Secrets? Victor Hale was charged. The trial was swift. The evidence overwhelming. Photos, weapons, records linking him to illegal trafficking operations tied to military supplies. And Daniel had found out. That envelope, it contained documents. Proof. Daniel had been preparing to expose everything. But Hale got to him first. In court, Hale showed no remorse. Not when the photos were shown. Not when Claire spoke. Not even when the verdict was read. Guilty. Justice, they said, had been served. Life sentence. No parole. But here's where it gets strange. Because just weeks after the trial ended, something unexpected happened. Authorities reopened the old military investigation, the one Daniel had been connected to, and what they found changed everything again. Victor Hale wasn't working alone. Financial records revealed a network. Payments, transactions, names, powerful names, people in positions you wouldn't expect. And at the center of it all, a single account, still active, still moving money. Even after Hale was behind bars, which meant one thing. Someone else was still out there, watching, waiting. And then Claire received a letter. No return address, no name, just one sentence typed neatly on a blank page. Daniel didn't tell you everything. If you were Claire, what would you do next? Because this story isn't over. And somewhere, the truth is still buried. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Daniel a hero, or was he hiding something bigger? And what do you think that final message really means?